Big breaking news coming in. Delhi court is all set to pronounce the quantum of sentence for Yasin Malik any moment now. Any moment now. 4 p.m. is the time given, and any moment now. It's 3:59. All right, it's 4 p.m. by the watch. So any moment now, the quantum of sentence is going to be out. I promised you viewers we're going to stay on the story and get you the latest details. The entire nation is really waiting for this sentencing. The JKLF leader, remember, has been accused in a 2017 terror funding case. We're getting you details in just moments from now in terms of the arguments for and against in the court as well. And the NIA now is pushing for death sentence. So while the quantum of punishment is for the terror funding case, many are awaiting justice for the killing of Kashmiri Pandits, as Sunilji Bhatt was mentioning earlier as well. We're all waiting for the Delhi court to set and pronounce the quantum of sentence for Yasin Malik any time now. Death penalty has been the demand. The National Investigation Agency has demanded capital punishment for convicted Kashmiri Separatist leader Yasin Malik, who had, remember, just to give you a background, earlier pleaded guilty to all the charges, including those under the Stringent Unlawful Activities and Prevention Act, or UAPA as it's popularly known, in a terror funding case. The Delhi court any second now will be pronouncing the verdict on the quantum of punishment in this particular case. Kamaljeet Sandhu now joins us. Kamaljeet, what have been the arguments for and against, and what is going on in court? Any moment now we will know whether the quantum of sentence and what exactly it is, while the NIA is pushing for capital punishment. Kamaljeet, can you hear me?
So let me tell you, I'm at the Patiala House Court. This is the NIA Special Court. You'll see this is jam-packed because a lot of media presence, a lot of security presence out here. We do expect that Yasin Malik, for the quantum of punishment, will be taken up from the lockup right here towards the court inside. And for the very first time, after conviction, we will know the quantum of sentence. Now, the NIA itself has pleaded and said they want death sentence, which is maximum. Now remember, as far as this conviction is concerned, this is under section 16, 17, 18 and 20 of the UAPA. Besides that is also section 120B, waging war against the nation. So they've gone for the maximum punishment. Meanwhile, the lawyer of Yasin Malik has pleaded that, he has shunned the path of violence. In fact, Yasin Malik himself spoke and said that he had taken on the Gandhian principle, that the 7 prime ministers had met him, that should be taken into consideration, and said with an open mind, one should give that punishment, but also keeping in mind the circumstances. But clearly, as far as Yasin Malik is concerned, the JKLF top commander, he's been behind several of the terror acts, and the conviction is for terror activities. Now, one has to remember this particular case of 2017. The terror funding case was the original case, which is one of the first to be booked against the terror ecosystem in Kashmir Valley. The NIA went after big guns, whether it was Shabir Shah, whether it was Zahur Watali, the others who were part of the eco-terror system, the likes of Hafiz Saeed as well as Saeed Salahuddin. Both of them were also named. They've been absconding and are in Pakistan. But very clearly, when it came to action on separatist leaders, remember Yasin Malik being a big player, and he has confessed. Now, many say what he said in the court today is actually quite opposite of pleading guilty. That could be to actually soften the stance of the court, that he has made an open admission of guilt, yet he said that he's shunned violence. Now it is up to the court to
take this across to Pooja Shali. Pooja, did the NIA Special Public Prosecutor tell the court anything about probably Yasin Malik in part being responsible for the Kashmiri exodus and the killing as well? While this case we do understand is with regards to the Kashmiri, the terror funding, was there a mention by the prosecution?
Today is a very important day, Chaiti. This is not just with regard to the terror funding cases, but for the Indian Air Force, for the armed forces, where there are accusations against Yasin Malik of having shot them down. For the Kashmiri Pandits, he's accused of killing. All of that, and definitely for funding, specifically with regard to the terror act that has been placed against him. Remember, NIA court has been, NIA specifically prosecutors have been very defiant. They have very categorically said and demanded death penalty, because they have said these may just look like funding charges, but they are definitely also about waging a war against nation. And importantly, Yasin Malik has decided to not contest these charges, and therefore it will be very pertinent what the NIA court also goes ahead and decides today. I just want to tell you about basic 5 charges: indulging in an act of terror, raising funds for terrorist activities, conspiracy to commit the act of terror, links to a terror group, anti-India activities. Yasin Malik, remember, has been the face of terror for Kashmir for a very long time. So even if, of course, the Defence Council is trying to come across to say that he's given up arms, he's taken the Gandhian route, yes, right now, but also likely because at this point, this conviction proves that it's not just been about funding, but much more. And therefore, it will be pertinent to see what the judge of the NIA court also decides. But the prosecutors are very clear and have demanded a death penalty